Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, I'm going to start this video out not in the intended way originally, because I just had a memory come up. And it's kind of a sad memory, but I think I think it's important. So I started going to this Buddhist temple. It was the second one that I started going to here in the Bay Area, Laotian. And I went there for off and on for many years, actually. I would say about 10 years or more until Buddha Chandi passed away. And just a kind of a side note, this is not, Buddha Chandi is not what this video is about. It's about another monk. I was so welcome in the temple, not only this temple, but the temple in Richmond as well. The monks would always bring me into the back where only the monks were allowed, even into the rooms. In fact, my girlfriend at the time, she's Laotian, she was allowed back there, and we watched a video of Mike Tyson boxing in one of his competitions. That was Buddha Kam. He loved Mike Tyson. By the way, Buddha Kam was the most spiritual energy healing monk person I've ever met on the planet. I would say my energy healer, she's the other one that's up there too. They're neck and neck. Okay, when I say spiritual, I mean this guy did energy healing right in front of you, and you were like, it was like you'd feel heat come off of you. Or one time he was doing work on my girlfriend at the time, the Laotian girl, and just this heat was emanating from her. It was the middle of winter. And the temple itself was cold because it was, here's the other thing. Her brother, my ex-girlfriend, her brother built the temple essentially by himself, and he was not a construction guy at all. They owned a store. They owned an Asian market in Stockton. My point, it was middle winter, it was January, really cold, and they didn't have the heater on, and there was cracks in the windows, the window sills, under the doors, so it was a drafty, and it was cold. And we had our sweaters and jackets, and we even had our ski cotton, I forget what you call those, hats on, not hats, but they keep you warm when you go skiing. We started praying, and then he started doing this energy thing, and we were both kneeling still when he was doing this chanting and this energy thing. And I'm telling you, energy was emanating from her, and after about 4 or 5 minutes, I opened my eyes and I looked at her. She was dripping in sweat. I looked at Buddha Kam, and he's smiling, and he points to her, and I'm like, yeah. So I'll give you a little bit more, and I'm going to move on to the next story. And essentially, she kind of leaned. We were kneeling forward. Our heads were bowed. She sits up, takes off her hat, takes off her jacket, takes off her sweater. And I'm like, Mon, it's freaking cold in here. She's like, Mike, I'm sweating. And she was, when I say drenched, I mean she was drenched, like she just ran a marathon. So when I say I'm spiritual, or I do spiritual things, or Buddha Kam, or this monk or that monk or whatever, I mean real spiritual stuff. I'm going to give you another message. It's going to kind of be a random thing. So this message is really important right now. So the sun is going through a phase. I believe we just went through a pole shift where its north pole shifted to the south and vice versa. I think it's either just happened or we're in the middle of it right now. So we are getting blasted by the sun, and it's not even the heat, because actually in the United States and most of other areas, we're having almost a winter like summer, especially here in California and the West Coast. It is unbelievably cold. So I'm not talking about the heat. I'm talking about the actual, and I don't have the words for it right now, I forgot, but the actual electromagnetic, actual energy. There's two other words for it. But we're getting blasted with, I don't know if gamma rays is the right word, but we're getting blasted, and it's causing a lot of that stuff that we're reading right here on this thing right here. It's causing people to be tired, to not sleep. In fact, I've been going through it, but I've dealt with it really well. I'm getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep and then waking up and can't go back to sleep. But I've been dealing with it emotionally very well. In fact, I'm taking this energy and I'm putting it into my business. So that's why I've been uploading videos on here. I'm working on a bunch of other videos on other channels, etc. So I've really been blasting out a lot of stuff lately. I've been eating really, really healthy for some reason. Just, I mean, asparagus, avocado, organic food, eating just really healthy fruits, vegetables, etc. And even though I've been doing that, and I've been getting my oils, my fats, my butters, and protein, etc., I noticed there was a few days when I literally felt dizzy, and I was and I said, okay, do some deep breathing, do this. Like, no, it was just the energy. Here's another thing that's going on. Now you know that young lady that I asked you guys for some money to send for her. I forget. I kind of even forgetting what the reason was. It was so she could send her son to be with her. Her son went through it first where he was very angry, and it was like, and she was like, Michael, I don't know what to do. Like, he's kind of sick, he's kind of angry, and he's really angry, and it's like yelling. And now she's going through the same exact thing. She's having headaches, she's like, Michael, I don't know what this is. So if you're reading this, you're going to read some of the stuff that's going on. So here's what I'm trying to say. Okay, she said something. Okay, it's something that I went through, and it ended about 5 or 6 days ago. So I've got a lot of videos uploaded, so I'm making this on July 25th, but you're probably not going to get this till the 28th or even 30th, because I already have at least 2 or 3 videos uploaded. So she said something, and I was like, wow, I said the same thing to myself, and she said, I don't think God loves me. I'm afraid that I'm gonna die, or what happens if I die? Am I not gonna go to heaven? Blah 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 blah. And I said, were you angry at God? And she said, yes. She said something to the effect of, I felt like God gave up on me. Why is my life so hard? This that. I actually went through that up until about 5-6 days ago, so about the 20th of July, maybe 19th, and it stopped for me. Okay. And then I found this unbelievable piece. If you notice my last 3 or 4 or 5 videos, I think I've even mentioned it, like this emotional freedom that I have right now. So something completely shifted. It's like I went through this phase. If you're going through it, do not worry. God is not mad at you. It is part of your cleansing. It's part of purging out the negativity. And when it comes out, you feel it and experience it to the fullest, including the anger, including the negativity. So this is a part of your healing journey. This is not a bad thing. This is a very, very good thing. So if you're going through it, don't worry. God still loves you. I promise. Okay, so let's go back to this younger monk. He was here in the Bay Area at the Laotian temple here. And he was... What's the word I'm looking for? Now, he wasn't that young. I'd say he was about 30 years old, at least 28, probably closer to 30, 31. And I would say he was naive. I think he meant well, but he didn't. I think it was, we all go through a learning journey. Even monks do. Do not think that monks think they're perfect. They don't. They know there's a lot to learn, a lot of healing work to do. So he did point out one thing to me. One thing that I learned was to learn how to empty my mind, to have no thoughts, and just listen and receive. And the one thing that I didn't do is he would say something to me, and then he would stop, and he'd kind of like, well, it's your turn to talk. I'm like, oh, and I'd say something, and I'd open up and listen to receive. And he said, Michael, communication and thinking is like, it's back and forth like breathing. You breathe in and you breathe out. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I was so proud that I could clear my mind and my heart completely. So he did teach me something that really completed the circle on that learning. Now, he was urged to go out and basically live in the world. So how to explain this? I'm not gonna. I know. I'm sure back home he lived in the country and interacted with people, and eventually became a monk. Maybe 5-10 years before that. I'm not really sure how long. I don't think it was 10 years. And I'm sure that the monks urged this because he needed to see something that he didn't understand. And before I get to that part, when I was meditating every day, it was peaceful. And I mean, man, when you go into what's the word for it? It's the zone, but it's nirvana. When you get really, really good, I mean, sometimes I go into meditation with pulled muscles, or, sprained ankles, or torn this, or, something was hurting. And once you get to that deep state, your body, it's like it's not there anymore. That I don't know. It's literally like you're in this open space, and I do not know how to explain that in a physical 3D way, because it's not physical, and that's probably the way you explain it. So there is no pain when you go there, and you can become addicted to it. So every chance I got, I meditated, and people were like, my ex-girlfriend was like, dude, like, Mike, you got to live your life. So I don't know how to explain this part. I think explaining what happened to the monk is probably going to explain what I'm trying to say. It's this place that most people have no idea exists. It's just, you don't need medicine, you don't need painkillers, you don't need nothing. You're just, everything is good. It is all good. I'll tell you what it's like. When I got ran over by the car, they gave me a pill called oxycodone. Okay, I was smart enough to take only one a day, because they think they want me to take 3 or 4 a day. Oh man, that one pill knocked me. I wouldn't say it knocked me out, but it knocked me into nirvana. I was like, wow, like, you don't worry about nothing, and I mean nothing. It is as peaceful as you can imagine. I mean, you don't even worry about money. Like, you don't care. You don't care if you have to live out on the land. You just don't care. So when I was meditating all those years, every single day like that, like I could enter that state within, I would say 15 minutes or more, maybe even less. I mean, I accessed it pretty fast back then. So what I'm trying to say is, when you're there, God, I don't know how to, I'm not going to attempt, maybe I'll do it after. I'm going to explain what happened to the monk. I think I'm going to attempt, but I don't, it's almost like you can't understand why other people are worried when you're there. You're just like, hey man, like, just chill, just relax. And it's like, they can't. And so I'm going to get back to the monk, and I don't think that's a very good way to explain it. Alright, so now, the monk was gone one day, and I asked the other monk, Buddha Chandi, I said, hey, where's Buddha? I can't remember his name right now, Buddha so-and-so. And he goes, oh, yeah, he went out to live in the world. I'm like, he went back home to Laos? He goes, no, he's living in Berkeley somewhere. I'm like, somewhere? Like, what do you mean? He goes, well, he got a job. I was like, he got a job? And so I was like, huh, well, good for him. So I don't know how much time went by. I'm going to guess it was 6 or 8 weeks, something like, I don't remember. Could have been 3 months. I don't know. But a certain amount of time went by, and I happened to go to the temple, and I was praying and meditating, etc. And the monk, he came in with street clothes on, and I bowed to him. He goes, I'm not a monk. Don't bow to me. So he was essentially a citizen at this point, and I was like, whoa, like, his energy was... there was some harshness to it. There was tension. There was, everything we go through. And I tell you what, he not only did he have fear, but he had panic. He was experiencing the world outside of a peaceful environment. When you're around monks like that in an environment, because that environment is purposely built to create a certain open space so people can heal. Okay, when you're in that kind of environment, you're just like, man, it's peaceful, especially if you meditate along with it. But when you step out of the environment, the reality of life, where people are mean and cutthroat and cuss and just they're disrespectful, where here this monk was being respected for, I think he was a monk at least 3, 4, 5 years, and now he's thrown into the world where no one respected him. Not only that, but he was having to receive and interact with the harsh energies of other people and their energy and their negativity. And so he essentially, the other monk came up and he just burst out in tears. And I tell you what, I walked away, because I didn't want him to know that I saw him. And I know that he saw that I saw that, but I just wanted to give him his space. I think what it was, he had a lot of pride. He was a good person, but he was the way he held himself perfect, and he had this pride. And I think they sent him out in the world to understand, like, look, you're in this safe environment, like, go out there and deal with life. And it basically broke him. but there's a huge learning in that. I don't think it necessarily broke him or broke his spirit, but it broke the shell of illusion, which is really what this series of videos have been about, is breaking the illusion, the unconscious thoughts you have in your mind that are holding you back. Because the next level, now I went through that whole getting broke, because you have to deal with life, you have to deal with people. And so there's kind of this battle of like, you want to stay in this nirvanic state and you want to heal people and you want to do all this stuff, but there's life that has to be dealt with, which is what you guys have to deal with. So essentially, the techniques I learned called the internal awareness. There's another one that I heard this for many years, but I didn't realize I was doing this and teaching this for over 10 years until a client goes, "Oh, you're teaching walking meditation." I'm like, "What?" Now I'd heard that phrase before, and I knew it was from monks, but I never even asked, "Well, what is that?" So the internal awareness techniques teach you to ground yourself emotionally. See, when you're grounded, your energy flows, and when somebody throws something at you, it doesn't hurt. And so the better you see, because it's not like one day you're grounded and that's it. It's like, you got to keep working on it and be in that state and have your awareness internal. And the minute you come out, boom, people throw like lightning bolts at you and you're going to feel it. So someone like Buddha Calm, and I would like to say I'm almost there. I'm really close. I'm gonna say you become like an earth angel, where you are heavenly, you are spiritual, you are open, you are connected, you are rooted, you are emotionally grounded. The energy's flowing through you. You can still heal people in public, while you're dealing with all this energy. The phrase to me, earth angel, is kind of it's a tough cookie. It's like a tough cookie, yet you're still wide open and flowing. I know that might sound incongruent or, like saying the opposites, but it's not. What most people do, like most people's energy is up above their head. It's generally like around their forehead, and it's like an upside down triangle up above your head, right? Or like an upside down pyramid. When you need to drop that energy down inside you, and this is part of my emotional grounding course that I teach. And so a lot of people will have this tough, like tighten their heart and tighten their forehead and be tough and strong, when actually you're completely vulnerable, because you're not allowing the energy to drop down inside you. When you tighten up and you're Mr. Tough Guy, you are vulnerable emotionally. But when you let go of that toughness and you learn how to allow the energy to come back inside you and around and inside your sphere, your bubble that's around you, now you're solid. Now the energy flows through you and doesn't hit you. So it's like you're open, which you are, but the difference is, it's literally like a car's battery. You have the grounding wire connected, and no spark is going to affect you. Sparks may happen around you. They may bounce off your car. They may hit the battery. They may hit the positive or negative pole, but it doesn't affect it because you or the car is grounded, so the energy just flows. So you are completely aware of it. You notice it. You feel it, but it's not in a hurt kind of way. It's more like, okay, I feel this energy. Now I know what to do with it. So a lot of people think you got to have your shields up. No, when you have your shields up, you're not grounded. And that's how you get hurt. Now, Bruce Lee says at one point, how does he say this? I'm getting them mixed up, but I think it was the one where it says, "Be like water, my friend." He goes, water flows, water can crash, and water can this. Water is formless, etc., etc. So a lot of people think by being hard, that's what makes you strong. It's not. By being fluid is what makes you extremely powerful. So that's why a lot of men, when they take my Crack the Female Code course, they start to notice like they get more respect at work, they get more respect socially. People interact with them more because they feel, here's the thing, even though you're more powerful, it's a comfortable power. It's not N-O-T, not power over people, it's power within you. That's what I teach. And it's very comforting for the people around you. It helps. See, when you are grounded, it helps the people around you to ground. And it opens the door of awareness, communication, understanding, compassion. You're just literally, there's the best way to explain it. It's like it opens the door so you can have a greater awareness of the people around you. So you're calm, they're calm, the people around you calm. And there's just this natural flow of energy where there's no aggression, there's no uptightness. See, when you're at the tip of the V, that's where the uptightness is. And that's where you think you're strong. But that is the weakest place to be, and that's where you get hurt the most and the worst. So you want to be on the open space of the open V. You don't see, most people, or at least left brain people, when you go into the left brain, you're going down inside this funnel, but there's no opening at the other end. It's completely closed off, and you keep pushing and pushing, and that's concentrated energy. That's what we call dense energy. So when people are there, that literally makes them dense, and you lose all awareness. When you go to the other side, it's like water. It's like everything flows, and there's more energy, there's more relaxation, there's more creativity, there's more everything. So here's the thing, you want to be at the other end, the open end, which is going up now, because that's how you get ahead in life. That's where you can interact with people and work with people. Whereas on this end, this is where you're the alpha male, and really alpha males are beta males. So this is the beta end, this is the alpha, and the omega is the open end, okay? So the alpha and the omega. Alpha means you're basically the top beta. You're constantly competing. This is where narcissists live. It's this, every conversation, every sentence, every phrase becomes a competition. You have to beat them. You have to outdo them. Because when you're down here, you're nitpicking. This is where you are a nitwit. This is the nitpicking. And this is where you use the words like, get to the point. Like, look what it says right here on the left. Get to the point. What's your point? Specifically, in detail. When you go to the other end, the language is, for what's your purpose or what's your greater purpose. It's the bigger picture. It's about destiny, purpose, and meant to be. Especially when a woman's in the open space and you say, like, get to the point, that will really upset her. She does not want to get to the point when she's in the open space. So I think it's a really good thing to get to the point where you are open and spacious and comfortable. The challenge is, though, you need to be able to be truly rooted and grounded in this open omega space, and then go out in the world, and you'll be amazed at how people transform around you. Now, if you're a narcissist, you're going, oh, okay, I'm just going to tell people I'm in the omega space. No, it's something you're going to have to work at. You have to learn how to do it. It is kind of a back and forth kind of experience, because you'll be there, and then you can't get there, and then you'll be there, and then you're not. So it's not like an either or where you're just there or you're not. It's more like you get better and better and better at being there. And then when you think you're finally there, somebody knocks you out of it. So that's part of the lesson. That's why it's called being an earth angel, because earth angels are badasses. You get really good at this. Okay, so now this is going to be the second half of this video, maybe the ending. I'm not quite sure how long this is going to go. So there's something that I've been desperately trying to reach you and to get you to understand, because it's kind of a challenge if you haven't been through the trainings I've been through. But I don't think I don't think you need to necessarily have to go through them. I think you just need to understand it, and I'm going to do my best right now to get you there. So in the last few videos I talked about the illusion, and these illusions are things such as when your mind reads something, it's not real, but you add, in other words, you add to someone's sentence. Like they said, oh, my cat ran into the living room, and you said, oh, so your cat's fast, and the guy's like, I never said my cat's fast. He's like, well, you said he ran. Yeah, but he might have ran slow, okay? He might be a crippled cat, he might wobble. All right, so a lot of us do that. Another one is complex equivalence, where this means that, and I use my mother's example where she said the more money you have, that means you have the more stress you have. So she literally would say the more money you have, the more stress you have. So this means that. That is absolutely not true. And I made something up. I used a Christian religious one, because there's a lot of stuff that's made up in churches that is absolutely not true. It is not in the Bible. It is not stated in the Bible. God didn't say it, Jesus didn't say it, and yet Christians will spout these negative things off all the time. So you have to really start to catch what you were taught, and if you can get someone like me to work with you, we can take it out, we can shift it, we can alter it, we can get rid of the false belief and shift into a more empowering belief. Okay, so one of the beliefs you're going to hear from Christians is don't take the Lord's name in vain, okay? Well, I found out recently about a month ago, and I think I may have saved it, but I got to look it up. Actually, let me see if it's one. Hold on. Because I'm doing my best to be more precise on things now. So I believe it was a YouTube short or video, or it might have been posted on Facebook, but essentially what it said was the phrase "don't take the Lord's name in vain" does not mean what you think it means, because the actual translation from the original language, which I believe was Hebrew, I don't think it was Greek in this one, but it was once again it was mistranslated into the English Bible. So most people think don't say like, "Oh, Jesus Christ," or "God damn it," and "Oh, that's a sin." That nowhere in the Bible does it say that, okay? So you're like, "Well, yeah, it says don't take the Lord's name in vain." I go, what God's saying, okay, so the new understanding, at least that I have now, is that it means don't go into battle and kill someone and say, "I'm doing it in the name of the Lord." Like in the name of Jesus, in the name of God, we're going to kill our enemies. We're going to take over this country because they're heathens. That's what God was saying. Like, hey, don't take my name in vain. Don't sit there and say that you're killing these people because of me. Now that is taking the Lord's name in vain. Right now the Christian Crusaders going, "Oh man, we did that all the time." So I'm gonna put something here to wrap, because I'm gonna wrap this all up. So essentially, I said, so why do you say God bless it? And people will tell you, Christians will say, well, because you're not supposed to take the Lord's name in vain. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, well, you're not supposed to say God damn it in like an angry manner. I'm like, oh, okay. And they'll say, God bless it. And like they're really pissed and angry. I'm like, oh, the energy behind that, and like, so you're just replacing bless it with damn it. So it's still the same intention. Your intention is you're basically pissed off at this thing and you're basically cursing it. So that's still taking the Lord's name in vain. And they're like, oh man. And then I say, nah, I just made that up. I said that this means that, when it really doesn't. So we do a lot of things. You were taught a lot of things at a young age that got locked in. This means that. Like I could literally say, when the sky's blue, that means you're going to have a peaceful life. Well, that doesn't mean that at all. I literally just made it up. But if I say it congruently and convincingly, you're gonna believe it. And that would actually be a pretty good belief. I think that would be a good belief to install in someone. I think that would be good. But there's a lot of stuff that limits you. Money's the root of all evil. Well, it doesn't actually say that. The more money you have, the more stress you have. That's not true either. So there's a lot of things that you were taught that hold you back in life. And I'm going to use one example, and it's not the only one. I could go to any facet of life, from relationships to finances to business to sports to anything. So when we hear about marriages, there are some really, really messed up beliefs that we're taught. And I mean, this literally, it destroys your marriage before you even met the person. Well, marriage is all about compromise. It's all about compromise. Well, there's another one, and I can't remember the word, but okay, let's just stick with compromise for now. Doesn't that make you feel like shit? So marriage is shit. No, it's not. So essentially the meaning that most people take is like, well, I guess I got to give some things up. I guess I got to give up whatever. And that's what marriage begins. And that's what the focus of marriage becomes. Well, I'm going to give up my happiness. I got to give up my joy. I've got to give up, I don't know, going after my dreams. I mean, who knows what it is? It depends on every person, okay? And so you basically get married to someone and you begin to resent them before you even get married, because you're like, oh shit. And this is why a lot of people have a hard time getting married. Like, man, I really love this person, but I got to give stuff up. I got to compromise. So here's my point. Whatever you believe, whatever you see, is what's going to be created. Okay, I'm going to go really fast. Your unconscious mind is the powerhouse. It has 93 or 99% of control of you. When you raise your arm, you did not do that consciously. That is impossible. When you move your arm, something like 200 different muscle movements or muscles have to engage and move at the perfect pressure, angle, this. Every little thing has to be perfection in synchronicity. You did not consciously do muscle number 1. Lift 3.5 pounds at a 2.75 degree angle. In muscle number 2, you did not do that. That would take forever. So we had to do this hypnosis thing, and the challenge that I was given during our master hypnosis training was I had to hypnotize this guy, and the person that I picked, I think we picked straws or picked names out of a hat. Well, I forget how we did it, but this guy was a bodybuilder. This guy was freaking strong. I had to hypnotize him to believe he could not pick up a pen. Yeah, a pen. Like a pencil, a pen. And I went through, they gave us something to read off of. You go over it and over and over it, and you do some other things, and then boom, then okay, let's test it. And he went and picked it up. It was like the pen was cemented to the frickin' table. And I go, come on, man, it's okay, man, because you get another chance. In fact, you have to pass this, or you don't get certified as a master practitioner of Ericksonian hypnosis. And so he goes, I can't pick it up, and people are kind of like, oh, come on. And so then I'm like, dude, it's okay. I go, I really need to learn to do this so I believe in I go, if you fake it, dude, then I'm not even going to believe it's real. Because back then I had a really hard time even believing this stuff was real. So he kept trying, and he broke out in a sweat after 5 or 6 more minutes of trying. His muscles were flexing. And I'm looking at him, and Dr. Ted James goes, good job, Mike. And I'm like, really? He goes, Mike, seriously. So then there's a part of the, I forget what it's called, but this thing you read off, and you take them out of trance, and boom, he picked it up. First thing he said was, oh my God, I thought suddenly I was so weak I couldn't pick up a pencil because I was freaking out, because this guy was a competitive bodybuilder, and he was thinking, oh my God, something's wrong. And so I talked to him afterwards. I'm like, dude, tell me the truth. Honestly, I go, please don't lie to me. He goes, dude, I'm telling you. And I'm like, really? He goes, yes. And so that was a huge convincer, but I still didn't quite believe at that point. So here's my point. Whatever you believe is what your unconscious mind is going to create. Period. End of sentence. That's it. Done. You want to know the real secret of creating your future? You want to know the real secret of manifesting? Just believe. Get yourself to the point where you know it. I don't care if you have to meditate, listen to maybe a sad song or an emotional song or a spirited song, inspiring song. A lot of Christian music, these newer Christian songs that make you really emotional, like CC, I can't remember her last name, CC Lamb maybe, I can't remember it. Whenever I listen to her, man, I can manifest almost anything, pretty much any time. So now let's go back to our marriage example, but it could be anything. It could be about bodybuilding like this guy. It could be about making money. It could be about manifesting. It could be about anything. If you accept a belief that marriage is compromise, that's what it's going to be. Period, end of sentence. Done. To me, marriage is about being fully, wholly, and completely, madly, head over heels in love with each other, that you would do anything for this person. It's not a sacrifice. It's not a compromise. You want to make this person happy. Here's another way I look at it. It's like a football team. You guys have a common goal. You have to get this ball over that goal line. You want to win this game, so you bust your ass and practice together every day, on the weekends, in the game. You are committed to making your dreams happen. To me, when you can get together with one or more like-minded individuals, does that sound like something it says in the Bible? Oh, it does. Then you can make anything happen. That's what I've been trying to tell you for the last 5 videos. find out those limitations, those limiting thoughts, the things going on in your head. Come to me, go to another practitioner, fix them, get rid of them, alter them, reframe them, and get back on path and reach your dreams. This is exactly what I do for a living. This is what I'm trained in. God bless you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment. And as always, you can go ahead and leave a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. God bless you guys. If you want, you can also support this channel by buying one of my dating relationship books. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.